All right, Pich and I, we just rolled out of, literally, I'm waddling out of Hutchinson's BBQ, Dallas, Texas, McKinney, Texas.
Hutchins Barbecue, unbelievable. It was recommended to me that I come try it. I knew I had a high star rating. And this guy's hard for me to, I was a little worried. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to meet your food standards.
I'm a bougie bitch.
Because you're bougie with the food.
Yeah.
But you said you want to try some barbecue, and we found some barbecue that price-wise was bougie, but totally worth it.
Free desserts.
Free dessert, and I put the challenge out to anyone who wants to come visit me here in the Dallas, Texas area. I will come here with you. You will buy us the barbecue. If it's not the best barbecue you've ever had, I'll buy it.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to Court Cousins, episode 61. My name is Kyle. I'm joined, as always, by my daring cousin in Dallas. There's some more alliteration for you. Jason the Pich. Happy to be here with you all, second cousins. This is a packed show. Tell us all about it, Pich.
Well, we've got our psychological check-in, as always, to kick us off, find out how we're doing. Then we get deep in the social media roundup, going all across the National Basketball Association. And then a little starter backup bench, a little our version of the game F, Marry, Kill, if you're familiar with it, but with a basketball twist. And then an ending that is so large, it is Shaq size. It's a big one, is what I'm saying. It's large. Grand.
Don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around for the large ending. Before any of that, I do want to take a moment to invite all of you beautiful people out there that are listening and watching this telecast. Second cousins, we have our second annual Court Cousins night coming up in downtown Orlando, Florida at the Kia Soul Center. Thursday, March 21st. We hope you'll join us. It's going to be a great night, everyone. We're going to be sitting together in the lower bowl area. We're going to be going down onto the floor and cutting down the net afterwards. Everyone gets to go home with a little piece of the Orlando Magic net. And Pich and I are doing tons of giveaways. I've bought like 5 or 6 jerseys, some shirts, socks. Pich has a bunch of paraphernalia there that's going to be exciting that will keep your beverage frosty. So everyone's going to walk away with something, but really the thing I'm most excited about is just to kick it with you, second cousins, put a face to some of those usernames, hang out with other Magic fans because, Pich, we don't get to do that. I mean, Connecticut, Dallas, there's not a lot of us around here, so it's always good.
I have trouble finding anybody who gives a shit about basketball. So, so I'm really out of the loop. But yeah, I think you're more excited about talking to other people about Orlando Magic basketball than maybe anything else that could possibly come. But maybe we'll find out later and start our backup bench. I don't know. Yeah.
And you know what? Exciting this year, Mrs. Red Lettuce is coming down. Nadra's going to be making the appearance, which is unlike. So that's an exciting part of it. So bring your ladies, make it date night. You know what I'm saying? It could be Court Cousins dates night. You know, it's fun. We're good with all demographics. I think there's probably 2 women listening to this. So, hey, ladies.
Hey, let's bring a third for Pich, and maybe we can have a fun game where I have to awkwardly decide between people.
Where your, female cousins, sisters, step-scissors, aunties, depending on how old you are, like bring them all out. We'll have a good time. So before we get into some more show, do want to shout out the second cousins and all-stars over on the Patreon. Hope that some of you all can make it. Keep an eye on that. We're going to be doing a giveaway for those folks. And we're also going to be doing some ticket giveaways for Court Cousins Night to the general public as well. But shout out to them. It's tax season, Pich. I realize how much money is spent, and these folks are really helping to make it doable and keep this show on the airwaves. So thank you very much.
Just looking to break even here.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we're definitely just trying to make it work. So shout out to Magic Player History, Bolby the Dawn, Paulo and Franz's Warmth, Andy, Dylan Holden, Drum, Raph, who I'm excited to hang out with down in Orlando, Breadhead, Matthew Bell, Dan Young, Gloria and Damien, Connor and Yachty. So thank you all for that. Pich, it's been a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been as long as it normally is. And I was just down to see you, but a lot has changed. I want to know how you're doing.
Plus, we just did a wrap-up the other day. I feel like
this is
great.
A lot
going on.
Yeah, it's almost blast from the past when, like, the psychological check-ins, I felt like I knew what you were going to say. Although I don't really, it has been a week. So how's your week been? How you doing for the psychological check-in, Pich?
All right, I'm back in the leadoff spot here, and so I've selected this picture of Cole, and he's got his glasses on. He's getting interviewed, not his jovial self at the end of the game where he's cracking jokes. He looks a little more serious here. This was me this past week. Someone from ABC came in. They're doing a show on Good Morning Dallas that they have a bit where this woman goes around and tries other people's jobs. She's tried to try out for the Texas Rangers and a lot of other things. Not the baseball team, by the way, the Sheriffs, but she came in, they interviewed me, and then I showed them how the machine worked, and then I actually took her out on the ice to drive, all with an hour of training. So it was a unique experience. I was cracking jokes and having a good time, and it was really cool of the Dallas Stars to say, hey, you're going to be our face here. You get out there and represent the Dallas Stars on TV. It's going to air later this week. When it does, we'll post it up here so people can check it out. But that's a great honor to have, a professional sports franchise say, hey, you be the face of this. So
they know what they're doing.
Cool.
That's smart move.
It's going to be
Dallas
fun.
Stars. Smart move.
All right. It's not a bad idea. I think it's good.
Yeah. Who else would you want to represent the franchise besides Pich? I'm sure you were freaking hilarious.
I feel like hopefully none of these jokes hit the cutting room floor. So I had some good ones. We had some good times. Aaron was great. So when it posts, we'll share it here and get it going on. But there's a lot good going on. You were just here to visit. I just had my friend Aaron here to visit, which was awesome because I've lived in a lot of different places and I haven't had a lot of visitors in those places. So it feels a little more real when it's not just your parents coming out. And I love them, but it's cool to have you and my friend Aaron come out, within the last month to see what's going on here and to break some of those stereotypes people might have about Texas. I know I grew up with them. I think everyone did. You talked about it when you were here. It's not all voting red and roping calves and wearing belt buckles and hats. It's a city and it's got other stuff going on. And so that was great. So that meant a lot to me. So I'm probably feeling a little bit better actually than Cole might look in this moment. But things are going well. How are you doing for the psychological check-in?
Yeah, ABC, you better do the right thing. I want it to be like a full 30-minute segment. They better not cut a single damn thing, those bastards.
A lot of them are like 7 minutes at most, sometimes in the 5-minute mark. So, I don't know. I feel like...
Picture it, Pish. Good evening, Greater Dallas, Fort Worth. This is the ABC Evening News. Now, normally this segment's only about 7 minutes, but we ran into a guy that we just couldn't keep from you, Dallas. The next rising star, he goes by the Pish. Enjoy. Dallas Stars ice managing. Here it is.
You just way oversold it. Now it's a bar because I don't know if we can get over that bar. Best case scenario, maybe NHL.com picks it up.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. I have a Cole, which to me looks like he's exhaling. I loved going to visit you down in Dallas. But then anytime you go on a trip and then you're traveling and then right back into work, and having to deal with some cat stuff. Dude, my cat's having freaking heart failure. So my lady's beside herself because she's wonderful and empathetic and open-hearted. So she's feeling for the cat. I'm taking him over to the emergency room. That's stressful. Getting into work, I just felt a little behind. Kids are rowdy when they come back from break. You have different expectations in a professional setting. So if you know a middle school teacher, give them a hug whenever there's after a break. They need it. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but it's a rough first kind of week just to get reacclimated. But now I have that exhale because everything's settled with the cat. Got out under some work. I went to men's group this week and got some fellowship. Now I'm here hanging out with you, talking Magic basketball. The Magic are back from the All-Star break, so I kind of feel like things are getting back into their groove, which is nice for me. I've been trying to take care of the body too, getting back in the gym after not being in for a couple weeks. And I haven't been boozing. So, that's something that's new. I'm not completely getting rid of it, but I think that's part of what's helping me to bounce back quickly and feel good. I probably had like 5 or 6 drinks in the past few months. Some of them down in Dallas, which was a hell of a time. Loved it.
Hey, it's great to hear that you're cutting back a little bit on that stuff. I think it makes you feel better in the long run. And by the way, I think like when you decide to go for it, it makes it more special. Because I don't drink a lot either. And then when I decide I'm going all in tonight, then it's a time, right? Like you remember that one time or that the lesser times instead of having 100 in a year, you have like, 50. It's just less. So you remember
progress,
more.
baby, not perfection. I didn't know that you could have fun without booze. It's been a while. I mean, like it's been a pretty consistent part of my life. Every, now I don't want to paint myself like I'm boozing every day, but anytime I go out on a weekend, it's a part of the weekend. If I'm going to a sporting event, it's a part of the sporting event. So I'm shifting a little bit, not all the way. It's not like I'm giving it up, but I'll probably have some down in Orlando for Court Cousins night. So make sure you're there. Also, Pish, a guy that we know is going to be there is someone who's been helping out with the show. We got to give a shout out to Jay, who has made some of these nice backgrounds already. He was on the most recent recap. We put out a call last episode. Hey, if you want to help out just with some stuff, and he hit us up at courtcousinsnba.com. So if there's any other folks out there that want to help out, just let us know.
Not Australian Jay. Just to be clear.
Yes. Much love to Australian Jay. But it wasn't even. We also have to give out a shout out to Jay's pops too, because he's the mailman, dude. He's delivering the goods. Shout out. Right. So shout out to him. He's the one that was talked to Jay and was like, "Hey, these guys have a podcast. You need to hit them up." So maybe we need to do like an honorary like mailman segment of some sort. The mailbag. We haven't ever done a mailbag.
Right. We've never had mail.
Yeah.
If we had enough mail backed up, I think I would have gone for it. But we get a lot of talk in the comments, with people from time to time.
Right.
Or IG, instant messages. But yeah, if if we went back and compiled, we could get stuff from there. But drop stuff in those segments, comments here, hit all those things. We'll pile them together and we'll make a mailbag segment.
And you could hit us up on social media, Pish. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to scour the interwebs right now for your interesting, insightful, or just downright funny posts about our Orlando Magic in the social media roundup. The first one we have is a big one. Is that a 50-pounder? Through the first 50 games, Wendell Epps is letting us know in the past 7 seasons, this is the first time that the Orlando Magic are above 500 since 50 games into regular season since 2011, 2012, and he has posted the most recent 7 seasons. In 17-18, the team was 15-35. I guess at the beginning of this rebuild would be 21-22 when we drafted Franz and Jalen. That we were 10-40 that year. And this year, the team is sitting at 27 wins and 23 losses through 50 games. I mean, that's huge, Pish. Talk about it.
Well, the part that got me is the part here at the end that you didn't read, which is it's the first time that the Magic have had an above 500 record through 50 games of a regular season.
I said that.
2011, 2012.
Yes. Absolutely.
That is what got it for me. I mean, Omar's baby boy comes up with a good tweet here to let everybody know to keep it. These are good times, right? We're not stuck in that toiling garbage, go to Orlando, get a victory kind of vibe. Things are shifting, and they're not going to change anytime soon as long as you've got guys like Franz and Paulo. And speaking of Australian Jay, we mentioned him a minute ago. He has a great post on a Magic player history about those two guys rising up the all-time scorer list for the Orlando Magic. And it's crazy that they're both where they are on that list already because they haven't even played 5 seasons. I mean, it is crazy to watch Paulo rise on that list. He's probably going to catch Franz at some point. Like so it is cool to have two guys that are going to become, cornerstones for this franchise. When you start to think back, like, and you start naming names from our franchises past, these are two guys that will be amongst those names at some point. So it's fun to watch them rise and the team become a more regular over 500 squad. So take these little victories and these moments as you go forward. Stop demanding new things and that we need to contest for a title next year. Enjoy this movement upward. It's going to continue.
Yeah, and I'm going to steal what you said earlier about, the growth flower. Enjoying the growth flowers. Let's see it bloom, baby. Love an extended metaphor. Let's bring it back because we're all guilty at times, maybe not you, Peace, you're very tempered, but I certainly have been, of wanting to move the team forward. We've had a lot of trade deadline talk about trying to move the team forward. And we didn't make any moves, which I think was the right move. No move was the right move in this case. And it's not because it's not necessary, Peace. And we'll talk about this, I'm sure, in different ways throughout the episode, but just look at it. 10 wins to 19 wins to 27 wins through the first 50. Let's just keep that going. If we follow that pattern for a couple more years, it's going to be all good. Not to say we're not going to make some changes here and there, but the core of the team, as you said, is in place and it's looking good. Something else that was good looking. Maybe that came out wrong. I mean, Mac McClung's a handsome man, but it was good looking that an Osceola Magic and Mac McClung got his second title in the slam dunk competition, jumping and dunking over Shaq for his final dunk, right? Is that the one? And he threw it to himself in that one as well?
No, not in that one. That was a different one.
Those were like the two big dunks that he kind of won it with. We watched this together down in Dallas. I mean, it's cool that he's won 2 in a row. I thought his dunks were pretty good. They were impressive. I enjoyed them. Jaylen Brown's dunks were unimpressive. I think that was just like this is the only NBA star guy in here, so he's definitely not going to get eliminated in the first round. But I don't think he should have been out after that. Or, Jaime is a good, solid rotation player, but it's not that star-studded dunk contest that we've had in days of yore. And I applaud Jaylen for putting out the bat signal to other star players to say, hey, get involved in this. I think more star players have to play. But, he shouldn't have been in that second round. I think maybe, David Stern had David Silver. What? Adam Silver. Was David Stern? That's the old MLB commissioner, right? Or was that the last?
Oh, David Stern was the old NBA commissioner.
Okay, all right. Rest in peace. But it was almost like Adam Silver was on the line to the judges to say, "Hey, you got to let Jaylen through to the second round because only star in it."
Obi Bottomans dunks were much better. I forgot what his name was, but Toppin's brother dunks were much better.
Yeah.
He should have been the second one in there.
Right.
Really is his name Jacob? They're Obadiah and Jacob. They got some real Amish names.
Biblical, baby.
But I do like that Jaylen wants to get some stars in there. I don't know. I guess he qualifies for that. I think he kind of hurt himself in a moment where he decided that it would be a bigger idea for him to throw shade on everyone who says he can't go left by putting a glove on and dunking, which was something that had to be explained to everybody because most people don't know that. So we're just like, okay, you dunked with your left hand and you're an NBA player and you had a white glove on. That's not cool. And then I got to say the biggest takeaway from this for me was not that, Mac McClung won, because I think obviously his hops are impressive for a man of his size.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Race, I'm saying it.
White boys can jump?
Yeah. Let it be known. I think my biggest takeaway from this was what kind of stuff was Kenny Smith drinking on during this event, because
Zombie
I
Smith.
love Kenny Smith.
Yeah.
I normally love Kenny Smith, but he seemed insane during this dunk competition. He had no idea what he was talking about. He kept thinking that Jaylen Brown was doing creative dunks, and that I'm like, what is this guy watching right now? It was like he was doing a reverse telecast of what was actually taking place, and I'm just blown away by it. But the judges' scoring was bizarre. It did look like it was set up a little bit. I feared Jaylen Brown was going to win just because of his name. So I'm glad Mac McClung outperformed him to win that thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, can this lad get it in? He played in that Rising Stars game. He played amazing. Can this guy get on a roster somewhere? You can't tell me somebody somewhere doesn't need a Mac McClung to at least sell some tickets if your team's not interesting. Let's go.
I know. This guy does everything. He's over here at Cane's Chicken too, hustling through the drive-thru, doing it all for people. You're right, Pish. I mean, I see on Twitter the chatter about him coming up for the Magic. No, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're too deep there with guys that are better caliber players. He's not playing over Gary Harris. He's not playing over Anthony Black. He's not playing over Cole Anthony. He's not playing over Jalen Suggs. Like,
he would play over Markelle Fultz.
Oh, wow. Well, only because Markelle is not playing, Jason. That's why.
Still a true statement.
But like Jet Howard, don't people want him to play too? You can't have both these guys play. I know, Jet's more of a 2, he's a 1, but still, man, we don't have the guys we have ahead of them are better NBA caliber players. They'll defend the ball better. But like you said, there's a lot of other teams. We're one of the better teams in the East this year. There's got to be some team that could use them to get them in the door, get that personality at least, man, and give them some time on the court.
Pistons got nothing going on. Let's go. Something.
We'll see what they have going on tonight. We're shooting this on Saturday. We're playing the Pistons this evening. We'll see how much the Magic are favored by. All right, big occasion coming up. That was one, big event, which was the slam dunk contest. But this is probably a much more important event on Pich's calendar, and that is Stuff's birthday. This is from Stuff on Instagram. Oh, and we have an in-studio sighting of Stuff. 3 days till February 27th. Stuff's birthday, Pich.
Stuff's birthday is probably going to be a lot of fun. That is one of those games I wish I was there for. Mascot Mania. I'm sure they're going to play games against each other, jump off trampolines. Always seems like a good time. Probably Stuff doesn't take a lot of presents for himself and probably throws them out to the crowd as well. The kids have got to love it. And look, one of the best dang mascots in all of sports.
Yeah.
That's right, all of sports.
Yeah.
So let's celebrate him on the 27th by remembering his honor. And he got to hang out. He got to hang out recently with a good buddy of his, Piff the Magic Dragon.
Oh yes.
See in this post here from Stuff himself, doing the Spider-Man meme, which you gotta love. Piff is a great comedian / magician.
Because I didn't know what that is.
He's been on some of those
Is it
reality shows where they try to find a comedian or a magician. I think he's been on.
It's a marijuana reference. Is he kind of like a alternative dragon that smokes a lot of Doja?
No,
because Piff.
No, I think he's just
one of the terms used for that.
Oh well, I'm unfamiliar with that one.
Okay,
but I think it's just that's the name of his guy, and he happens to look a lot like Stuff. And sounds a lot like Stuff. He's British, I believe. So yeah, he's not even or Australian.
Oh, that's a whole other lexicon that I can't even. I don't know what they do over there. They're zany. They are zany. So they should be. I would love to be. I think there's probably outside of Court Cousins night, there would be no other night that I would rather be there than for. Because I've got big mascot energy, and I think you do too, Pich. Because we're zany. We like to have a good time. You give us a trampoline, I'm getting on that sucker.
Right. Well, I've actually mascotted, my friend. At the high school and collegiate level. So
huge. I mean, you hear that, ladies? Huge mascot energy over on Jason. All right, huge mascot energy.
Come see my stuff.
Court Cousins night, March 21st. Anyways, this one less zany, more disrespectful. This was an NBA topic here. Kevin Durant, just saw this on ESPN app. This is from SportsCenter here. Like some Dallas Mavericks, and this is in your backyard now, so you defend this, Pich. Apparently,
these are my neighbors.
Calling him a BA, a bitch ass, or something along those lines. Now, this is not okay with me. You and I, we love a good cajole. Like we're gonna get in there. We're gonna throw down some hilarious trash talk, but it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be funny. It's not gonna be insulting. I'm not gonna insult anyone or demean anybody with my trash talk. I'm gonna say things that are stupid and just to be funny. That if someone, and you're my idol for this, Pich. If someone's running by an athlete, they'd more just like turn their head and laugh at it and shake their head as opposed to be upset.
Right. Well, that originated for me back at UVM basketball games, yelling a number of things, but usually hot cheese soup while they were shooting a free throw.
That's your trademark.
Why the hell? Well, I mean, a lot of times they hear it and they just think, why hot cheese soup? It's strange, right?
Did you have an ice like percentage on that? Did you keep stats on your ice percentage?
It was pretty strong. I didn't keep a track on that one because some players liked hot cheese soup, so it motivated.
Oh,
So then I'd
okay.
have to think about, all right, what doesn't this guy like? So I'd be like,
Mm.
long division, chemistry 101. Like start to get into like his class mindset. Like, oh shoot, I got a big paper due or something. Like, so you got to really get in there, but do it clean, right? Like, don't work blue.
Right.
The only way I work blue is if I'm wearing a jersey like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's really just about trying to keep it somewhat respectful. But I do like to talk trash at players, and I don't think that fans should stop being able to talk trash at players. Now, if a fan's like this in this situation were said something like, fuck you, Kevin Durant, I'm going to eat your family. All right, that's crossing the line. And if Kevin Durant's then worried for his safety or his family's safety, all right, you get these people removed and it's fine. But if they call you a bitch and you walk by and you feel like you got to stop and talk about it, guess what? You are a bitch. Like, that's uncalled for you to like, hey, fans are at a game. They're going to say shit. Keep moving. That's part of what you get. You're a paid professional. If they just call you a bitch, that's just like, all right, that's not a creative taunt by them. I'm not backing up what they said. They could have come up with something better, but like, keep it moving. You're Kevin Durant. You're above these people. You gave these people a moment now by stopping to talk to them instead of walking by, and then we wouldn't know who these freaking people are. Like, there's a little bit that is on the person who takes the thing in that kind of has to deflect some of this stuff off. Stop kicking fans out of the game for saying every little thing. They pay a ticket price to come in, and you are the gladiators on the court. They're allowed to kind of say whatever they want. They can't throw stuff at you. And, you know, within reason, they shouldn't be working blue in front of children and stuff like that. I mean, there's a line.
Working
but
blue.
Like, let's go ahead and get a spine here, NBA players. Let's stop kicking everybody out for everything else. You get labeled with this soft, label, which, by the way, Kevin Durant's always been labeled with that soft label, and then you go ahead and do something as Charmony soft as this. Keep it moving, bro. Why do you waste your time with those people?
I appreciate points of your take, and that's an amazing Charmin riff. However, I couldn't disagree with you more on this, Pich. I mean, I actually respected what Kevin Durant did and going and talking to them and kind of humanizing himself with them, because immediately, obviously, they retracted it. Hey, if on the flip side, if you're a fan and you can't say something and then not be ready for another man to come up to you and say it again to me, then you probably shouldn't be saying it either. And that fan's face changed immediately when he saw, oh shit, like, that's a human being I just said that to. And now, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Durant. I didn't mean to, sir. Like, come on, bro. You're kind of a bitch too, you know? So that's why I don't,
sure.
and maybe this is some middle school teacher coming out in me, but I think it's just as good and more effective and way more fun to do it like we do it. Cause you said, like, there's always some kids around too. It's just hateful language. I don't think it's necessary, but I mean, you have a fair point in that, like, yeah, it's kind of comes with the role, I guess. I don't know why it needs to, but it is the reality of being a pro athlete. You're in stadiums where some of that, like, passion that comes out as male anger, because it is a male dominated thing, right? This is like a male centric sports. Like, men are coming to watch, and some guys have their freaking heart in this whole thing. So expletives may be a part of it, and you do have to be okay with that to a certain extent. So I see both sides here, but I don't. No, I'm down with the fan. Down on the fan.
Ask those great. Well, look, I don't want to make it seem like I stick it up for these particular fans, because I think these fans are stupid. Like, but like, go ahead and ask the Bulls what they thought of when they were on their run. I'm guessing they caught a bunch of hate from fans. What about the Detroit Pistons? They were the bad boys. They wanted you to hate them. I'm sure they heard their fair share of stuff. The Celtics, when they were rolling in with Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. I mean, those guys heard it. You didn't hear them talking about shit. You didn't hear them kicking people out. They played the game. They were professionals, and they ignored that crap, and they moved on with their lives. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a little bit more of that. Stop focusing on what is going on out there and stay focused on the game.
Yeah, it's not necessarily too much to ask. Okay, next one. Let's get back to some Magic stuff. This thing has been catching lots of viral energy. It's the song Orlando Magic. Orlando. Hold on, I think I have it here. I'm coming in. There it is. The classic song has been going all around the internet on TikTok. Pich has the original CD there. That's amazing. I'm playing it right now, Pich. I know you can't probably hear it. But
well, that's Mike Doliak and Matt Harpering on the back. That's how you know it's an old one.
But I knew this. I don't know this gentleman, this like famous streamer that it got like reposted by the Orlando Magic
That's
and
Ninja.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. What made this real for me? And here we go. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the song by now, what are you doing?
But what made it real for me, Pich, is my kids, my students are doing it. And they know that I like the Orlando Magic, so they're hamming it up a little extra. I think it's like becoming a little more than it might in the school. But to see kids who wouldn't like mention the Magic, they're just kind of like hanging out in homeroom and they're like, Orlando Magic, like they're just grooving to it. It's great. It's brilliant. And I don't know if Tony in marketing, who's like their film media guy, was responsible for this, but all the edits that they've done over the years, editing absurd videos that don't match up with the song to create a really funny experience. They've been doing it for a while, and now it's catching on in big ways and giving the Orlando Magic at the right time, by the way, when we have a star who was just in the All-Star game, some momentum amongst younger kids who are maybe trying to figure out what team they want to play. This is cool, man. This is cool to get this energy around the team. So shout out to, big round of applause to whoever in the Orlando Magic media department was doing all that. Nice job.
Yeah, we've used them as a comparison beforehand, but this kind of reminds me of the way everyone jumped on the Light the Beam bandwagon last year for the Sacramento Kings, where it seems like, oh, now we got a thing, and it's getting people to notice that, oh, yeah, they're down there, they're doing stuff, they're in the mainstream, and it's cool. And you know what? This song for me, I had this on a cassette a long time ago before this came out, and I wore that cassette down. I think I had 2 different ones at one point because that thing came out in the early 90s. That thing was around at the beginning of the beginning of the team, and I used to play that thing on a loop. They used to play that for the player intros back in the 90s. So I mean, like, this song's it's been around for a long time, and all of a sudden it's like everyone just kind of dusted it off and was like, oh, this is nice, and this is back, and guess who else is? The team. Right. So check it out, everybody. Get on board. Glad you're there. Glad we're now on MP3s and off the CDs. But whatever gets people doing it, I think you should tell all your kids in the classroom that if they like slap a test down, they got 100 on or something like that, and just boom, hit the song.
Yeah,
just that way, reward for the victory.
I'll do that. I was actually thinking, I thought you were going to say I should make it a question on a test, and I was like, I'll do that too.
No, you don't want to prompt them to play the song.
Oh yes, and that has been kind of what's happening in the post-game interviews. Adam Papagiorgio, writes on Twitter, I am imploring the Orlando Magic PR, Bailey Magic, to please stop asking the players in post-game victory interviews to say, play the song. After the interview, have Kendra or Dante say, okay, guys, play the song. Either the players will jump in too or not. It has been a little awkward. It feels like no one ran it by the players first, or kind of maybe they didn't give them the vision of it and really sell it to them well, because the first few times, and as it's been early on here, the guys just don't seem enthusiastic, or they seem confused. They're like, play the song. Dante's like, oh, all right, so Moritz, why don't you tell him to play the song? And Moritz is like, okay, play the song. It's like, Moritz, I'm underselling Moritz. He gave a little bit more energy. I think as the guys understand it more and buy into it, kind of like the Sacramento Kings players last year with the Light the Beam, maybe it can become more of a rallying cry even for the team, and more of an anthem even for those guys. And so it would feel definitely much better, as Adam Papagiorgio is saying, let's not force it, and hopefully the guys adopt it and start saying it in post-game interviews, because it would be fun. I think it's a good idea.
Check back all of time. Started probably in middle school, high school. If stuff's pushed, it's not cool. It has to come organically.
Yes.
No different here.
Yes. Good point. Okay, so it's been a while since we've gotten on the pod, and we haven't talked about this actually, which is the Shaq jersey retirement. We talked a little bit about how we felt it going up, but I mean, it's been a buzz. I just have, the quickest of comments. I just don't understand. That's all. I just need a little explanation, Pish, about why.
Well, they've used the old Magic font for the Shaq logo at the bottom
for everything on this night.
And then gone ahead, for everything gone around it. And then all of a sudden they just were like, let's go ahead and throw up a jersey style with a number that he never wore. What is happening? That doesn't make any sense. Whenever you retire a player's jersey, it should be the font of the font he wore at the time. Go into any arena, that's what you'll see. The team was green and blue, it's green and blue. Then they changed to red and yellow, it's red and yellow. They keep it consistent. Shaq never wore this particular jersey. This would have been a throw ahead for him. It would have been impossible for him to wear it. It's not like now when our players wear a throwback, it's like, all right, well, they did wear that for one season or for a few games.
What if
this couldn't have happened?
What if like Mac McClung at the dunk contest instead took this jersey out and put it on Pish, put it on Shaq? Then he would have worn it. If he had a version,
all right, maybe, but at least that way we could have said he wore it once. Right now he wore it 0 times ever, and that's the font you decide to go with. And that's kind of weird. I know that they had to put the numbers of years he played there underneath it, but it makes it lessens it for me.
It almost feels like a little passive aggressive. It's like, only 4 years though. Only 4 years. Right. He's gonna be the first one up, but we're gonna make it clear that maybe other players were here for longer. I'm cool with that. If you want to have their tenure down there, I know some people are disagreeing with it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, but
you should.
Look,
most do.
The only thinking I can understand for this is they want them all to be the same, and they're not going to have them different. So they're just kind of picking a, one design for all of them. But no, if they're going to do that, make it the old original one. Make it the pinstripes that everybody loves.
Right. Yeah. Because no one likes this number font. No one's ever liked this number font. No one in the Magic community has ever asked for this font. It's just the one that's been thrown at them, and we have it on everything. And I'm guessing whoever runs or owns the team, they must like it too, because they're like, oh yeah, that's the one right there, baby, that's it. So they sat in a meeting and they approved this thing before it went up. They're like, oh yeah, that design's amazing, it's amazing. No one said anything. I'm just no.
They need to go back when they were doing those focus groups with the fans a couple years ago. I remember Al from Orlando Magic HQ was talking about how he was asked in to give some feedback. Keep doing that, Magic. This one's good. This one's good, Pish. Someone that's been missing is Jet Howard. It seems the only posts that we get from the Orlando Magic about Jet Howard are the same one that says the Jet Howard has been reassigned to the Osceola Magic. And it's the same picture, and Orlando Magic just sends it out from their Twitter. So it's nice to get some other content. Welt God wanted to give some other content about Welt God, and this is a meme here of, a scary moment for a young person. When you turn out the lights, Dad, Jet Howard is hitting no-look threes from under my bed. And Papa goes under there to see, why the fuck is he still in the G League and not here? Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I think I've changed my tune on this whole concept because, there's a lot of guys, and we talked about it a little bit with Caleb Houston last year, where it's like, hey, if they're not going to get minutes with us right now, get that minutes somewhere else, because clearly he wasn't really ready to join us and thought he needed some more seasoning. So I'm glad he's down there lighting it up. I don't expect him to come to our team and light it up if we brought him up tomorrow. So I think he's getting some reps that are in there, and it would be nice to have a sharpshooter out there on the floor. I don't know if he's at that spot yet, but it's nice to think that there could be that in the future. So I'm kind of more of a little bit like, I've given up on this now. Obviously, we could have had 2 players that were going to really contribute, maybe perhaps start, and obviously that ship has sailed. So I'm sort of just like, what do we do now? Well, AB is getting enough time with us. Jet may not. So might as well get the minutes down there. And, if something happens and we need him, I like that there's something else to look forward to from him, because right now there would just been a lot of like, oh, why aren't you here? Why aren't these 2 top picks contributing more? But they're very young. They have plenty of time to get better. So I'm being more patient with them.
Yeah, Pish, I agree. I agree totally with you on this. it feels maybe this way too because the team has been shooting the lights out like the last 10 games. So the need for 3-point shooting doesn't feel as dire as it did in, I don't know, like what was it, January, end of December, when we were just losing with guys out and rotations all jacked up and we're shooting like 31% from as a team and last in the league because, you know, this is a guy that we thought could do that. But, you know, what minutes is he going to be getting on the Orlando Magic right now? Just looking at, you know, Anthony Black, let's see, where are his stats here? Anthony Black, who you mentioned, who is getting a little bit of burn with Markelle being out, for the year is averaging 18 minutes, which is pretty damn good. But he's not taking those minutes. You know, that's good. But right now, Jet Howard is playing 32 minutes in the G League and taking 10 3-point attempts, making 3.8 of them, shooting 37% from beyond the arc. Like, isn't this exactly why we were excited about the G League and the NBA a few years ago, making the relationship more clear and consistent and really making the G League the farm system for direct NBA teams so that we could do this? Because a guy who maybe isn't quite ready on the defensive side of the ball or is still getting acclimated to even the distance of the three-point line, although it appears he's doing pretty damn well with that, can get 32 minutes in a professional setting. He's still getting his money. Like, I know he's probably bummed about being in the G League, but life ain't too bad for Jet Howard. And he'll be up here soon. Like, if it's not at the end of this year, there's space. Gary Harris is on an expiring deal. Do we bring him back? That's a spot that Jet Howard, some of those minutes can be for Jet. You know, what happens with Markelle Fultz or, you know, Chuma Okeke, who doesn't really see any minutes, but that's just like another roster spot that might be open. Same thing with Admiral and Kevon Harris. So the bench might get a little, you know, might have some more room for Jet. And really it's just about the minutes because we don't want him sitting there like Chuma Okeke getting no burn. So we'll see what happens. Caleb Houston is a team option, I believe, next year. So these are some of the things that I'm not really worried that he'll come up. Would I like to see him up with the big squad? Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. But, hey, I trust in this front office, and if they want to bring – and this coaching staff, and if they want to, you know, bring him along slowly, that's the right move. Did I do it so well you have nothing to add?
Well, I went first on that topic, so I was ready to move on. But yeah, I think
let's move on. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
We did it. All right. Let's go on to this guy. I mean, gotta mention Moritz Wagner played a huge game the other night. Let me bring up his slide. Here it is. And this post is from
Franz Charo, which is a great name.
Franz Charo, great name. I'm so ready for Moritz effing Wagner. I said Wagner. Wow. Moritz effing Wagner to be the most hated man in Milwaukee, New York, Cleveland, Boston, or whomever we face in the postseason. Dying laughing emoji with Moritz telling everyone, shh, be quiet. Yeah. Oh, this is an old photo because he does not have the mustache here.
True.
Yes.
I love this post because I said this on our last wrap up that I was excited for him to become one of those guys that everyone around the league now knows and hates. You know, like that guy that you hate, you'd like him on your team, but he's not on your team and he's hustling. He's not a household name. He'll be like, oh, Franz Wagner has a brother? Because Franz Wagner's still not a household name in some households.
Right.
But he should be. So once I learn that he's got a brother, people are going to be confused. But he's going to be one of the guys that is, I think, a kind of a breakout star from whatever we get to do in the postseason. Because you know that guy is going to go hard. He always goes hard. But if it's playoff time, he's particularly going to go hard. And if he knows he can get in someone's shorts for at least 4 games in a row, he is bringing the noise, my guy. He's going to piss some people off. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, when you say star, you're meaning like that role player star that kind of always emerges in a series.
Always.
Always. Like the guys who got, like Gabe Vincent on the Heat last year who got paid. You know, it's Max Strus. These guys who played a big role kind of broke out. We talked about on the last show, like, oh man, does that mean Moritz is going to be wanting more money? I mean, he's so nicely contracted for the team, a team-friendly deal, $8 million a year. That's pretty awesome. There was a lot of buzz about Moritz as sixth man of the year at the beginning of the year, along with Cole Anthony.
Mostly from Magic fans, but that's fine.
Nah, well, it was other yeah, maybe. But he was playing like it. He was in that pool of names that were being talked about. And then it kind of went cold as the injuries happened and just the inconsistencies with the rotation. The consistencies in the rotation are helping Moritz Wagner tremendously. He played his best game of the season, arguably, against the Cavs. It's also helping Cole. If the bench can kind of return with Moritz leading the way and Cole, that's going to be huge for the Orlando Magic. You look at that Cleveland game where our bench just dominated. Like, our starters didn't play well, but the team can have the ability to win games when the bench just so outplays and out-talents the other team, because there's not a lot of teams that go as deep with good, average, above average NBA players like we do. Like, there's no throwaway minutes really at the end of our bench, even right now. Like, we were just talking about Jet Howard can't crack minutes, and he was the number 11 overall pick. So this is good to see Moritz going in this way. Oh, I'm so happy of the Wonder Kid. He's so good. Had to get.
He's always going to get German. He's always going to get German on you if he can. That's what he does.
All right, so we have to talk about it, Pich. I know you don't like talking about hypotheticals.
We have to. We have to. They made us. They forced us. Look, here's the deal. When somebody comes out with a hypothetical or an idea, all right, I'll see a post. I'll be like, okay, all right. And look, I'm willing to go entertain it for 1 to 5 seconds, and then we should move on. But unfortunately, this idea that Klay Thompson is going to join the Orlando Magic will not go away. And I'm tired of everybody go ahead and talking about it. You're keeping it in the news cycle. It shouldn't keep popping up in my feed, right? And I like these guys, and I normally like their take, but Maddie and Luke are just continuing this narrative and continuing to talk about it. And I'm saying, knock it off. Stop talking about it. Look, first of all, he can't come to the team this season. So this is an off-season thing. And guess what happens in the off-season in basketball? Not much. So why don't you save this stuff for then? Because right now there's actual stuff to talk about. Plus, Klay is playing for another team. We've got a team. You're slapping them in the face by talking about, hey, how great could it be if we got this other guy? Just knock it off with all that talk right now. Save it for once the season's done, bring it forth. But to have this much of this particular idea where I've seen him in almost every inclination of our jersey at this point, or even carrying a duffel bag with a logo on it. Like, knock it off. Like, get something else to do. Like, if the Magic in season right now isn't enough to entertain you, do you even care? Like,
are you not entertained?
Yeah, what's up?
I love it, Pich. I appreciate your take, and I agree for different reasons too. Like, the reason I hate this so much is it's just very clear that we're being used as leverage by Klay's agent, just trying to get some buzz going early to get his guy more money on the free agent market. And we're playing right into it. We're going on the date with the girl who's just trying to get her ex-boyfriend jealous. Like, we're going to that location. We're just playing right into it. And I don't like being the new guy, for a number of reasons, because I just don't think it's not realistic, even in the offseason. Like, do we really want to pay? He turned down a 52-year, $52 to $3 million deal with the Golden State Warriors, the team where he has so much love and affection from the fans and connection to. So that means we're going to pay him $30 million a year? Do we, I don't know. There's more other things I want to do with $30 million a year besides get Klay Thompson. But, Maddie's World says if the corpse of Joe Ingles has big impact on this team, I don't see why Wash Klay won't. I don't know why it needs to be, why Joe Ingles is catching strays over here, because he's been playing pretty damn well, shooting the rock for 40% in the last 10 games or so. So, it doesn't seem like what a young team would want to do, and we're playing right into the hands of Klay Thompson and his agent. And the other thing is, whenever I need balance and good information, I go to 0123 on Twitter, Magic 24/7. He's saying, in his opinion, if the Magic are going to spend long-term money in free agency, there are a bunch of other options that could be way friendlier to the team, that could do some of the same things that Klay's going to do. He's not defending at a high level like he used to anymore. He's not creating as much off the dribble. So we're talking about adding shooters. He says DeAnthony Melton, Gary Trent Jr., Malik Monk, Tyus Jones, Buddy Hield. These guys are all free agents or restricted free agents, I believe, and are gettable for way less than $30 million a year. So let's go with some of that. Also better on our age timeline.
Two good positives about this thing, because I'm going to go ahead and put a positive spin on this.
Okay.
One is that Orlando is being seen as a destination for free agents.
Okay,
right?
I like that.
Just the mere fact that a good star player would consider going to Orlando is a step in the right direction for us, just in the conversation. So,
okay.
All right.
I don't know if
that.
he's considering
and then
it,
number
okay.
two,
yeah.
Number two, if you really want me to entertain this, I'm just saying,
okay,
Splash Cousins, it's there.
Splash Cousins? Why?
Splash Cousins.
You want him to join the show? Is that what you're...
He's one of the Splash brothers.
Yeah. So are you
obviously
implying that we change the
being part of basketball? I'm saying he could be part of Splash Cousins.
And we'll make a new podcast with Klay Thompson.
I mean, I haven't workshopped all the ideas, but it's a great name.
All right, I don't know if I'm on board, but pitch it. We'll do a pitch, and we can talk about it when Klay Thompson comes, because he's definitely coming. Pich, all right, he's coming
for sure.
All right, thank you everyone for your posts about our beloved Orlando Magic. Again, maybe we gotta do like a mailbag where we ask everyone to add us and send us like a take that they want to get out and want to hear our take on, and that would be fun in honor of Jay's pops or step pops. I'm not sure, but the mailman with the mail segment, that'd be fun. So at @court_cousins, let's get that going. Send us things, and maybe it'll end up on the show. Next piece, you ready for the next thing?
Yes, statistically, I've always been ready when you've asked, so let's continue to run that.
Well, I just want to check. It's always good to get consent. I want joyful consent.
Yeah.
What are we going into next? Oh, that's right. It's starter, backup, and bench. So this is the part of the show where we'll give each other some options and then have to rank them in, greatest to least or best to worst. However, the phrase, sometimes is a little different. So here we go. Most recently, Pich, and I know you watched it on replay incessantly, I went on Bleacher Report and did a 30-minute segment on my 5 keys to the second half success. I think it was 5 keys to second half success for the Orlando Magic. 2 of them were players, so we'll keep those out for another starter, backup, and bench. But I am going to give you 3 options. What do you think is your starter, backup, and bench most important? Oops, that's not the right thing. Here we go. Most important keys to the Magic's second half success. Is it defensive intensity?
Yes.
Internal development with just mostly focus on shooting. I talked about just like believing in our guys to continue to consistently shoot well from beyond the arc, or points in the paint / getting to the line. So defensive intensity, internal development with our shooting, 3-point, and points in the paint, getting to the line. How would you rank those, sir?
Well, I think it's probably the order in which you spouted them out there. I think for me, it's about defensive intensity. I think that's what starts a lot of who we are. It can lead to a lot of fast break points, which are easy for anyone, no matter what level of development they are. If you're in the NBA, the fast break is a much easier way to score.
It's cookies.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go with the internal development with the shooting next, because I feel like last game I saw Jalen just do a couple of pull-up shots, like for 2, and it was like, ooh, look at that. That's old school NBA. Like, you don't see that a lot anymore. Like, guys just taking a long 2 because they're open. I think the guys we have on the team can be that shooting we're looking for, but we're always looking to get to the bucket almost too much. Really good at it, but it sometimes seems like we're not focused on getting a guy an open look. That's not really a part of our offensive scheme. So, I mean, points in the paint is important, but I'm making it my bench on this one, because points on the paint, it does depend on who's refereeing the game, how hard are the guys going. A lot of guys inside now get very passive and just let people have baskets. You can't bank on that, but you can bank on that defensive intensity and having your shooters get better. So I think I'm just going to put them in that order. But it doesn't mean that points in the paint aren't important. That's obviously something we do very well already. I think that's why I'm not worried about it as much. But the getting the line that's something different. That's kind of its own thing.
Okay. I think I agree with you on defensive intensity being number one. I think that, it's no secret we're rarely the team that's going to light up the scoreboard because we just don't take as many threes as other teams, but we still win games with our defense. And right now on the season, the Orlando Magic are sitting in 5th place in terms of defensive rating in the league. So a top 5 defense. And I think as long as we maintain that top 5 defense, we can win games and be problems for people in the postseason. Because I like you did make a point about the fast breaks, but the game also slows down a little bit in the postseason. I think defense becomes even more important. So I think that favors the team. So that's going to be my starter for sure. I think my backup is going to be for this year at least, points in the paint and getting to the line. In terms of free throw attempts for the season, the Orlando Magic are 3rd in the NBA. And that has been absolutely crucial to the identity of the team and the identity particularly of Paolo Banchero, the superstar or the star of this squad, where we normally win points in the paint and we win at the line, and with our defense, that's enough to get us over. So that would be my backup. It's interesting to me. We had a meme about Scott Foster that we didn't intend, that we decided not to include because of some of his zany calls or from that crew in the Cavs game, like the technical on Moritz and Paolo not getting to the line at all. And that's happened. We've had both Paolo and Franz have gone for high 30 burgers without a single free throw attempt. And if you would have asked me that at the beginning of the year, I would have told you you're crazy because something that Paolo has been really good at is getting to the line. And so right now in the past, 10 games, the Magic are more towards the middle of the league in free throw attempts. And I've just kind of been noticing a little trend down in how much we've been getting to the line. And I think it's a really important aspect of our game. So I'm watching it, and I would label it a key to success in the second half of the year and in the playoffs. And I guess so that would mean that internal development with the shooting would be the bench. I guess that seems crazy. So maybe you were right. Maybe it's because I've kind of always believed in the shooting of a lot of the guys that are there. Just we've been kind of injured, and now we're getting consistent. Jalen Suggs' shot always looked good to me. Gary Harris, we've seen what he can do. I mean, Joe Ingles, I knew he wasn't going to shoot like shit all year. So guys are just doing what they normally do. I guess the biggest surprise with this internal development has been Wendell Carter Jr., who's the best three-point shooter by average. And, I mean, talk about spacing the floor. That's pretty important to that, to have a center that can do that. I know we like big man shit here on this show, but if your main guys are Franz and Paolo who do damage in the paint, having a center who can step out and has to be respected from there is a big help. So that's how I would go. Let us know how you would rank these. What are your biggest keys to our Orlando Magic success going into the second half of the year? I guess less than half. We only got, 30 games left? Yeah, first 50, we got 32. What are your keys to success for the last 42.5% of the year?
Those are good keys.
All right. Let's go. This one's just kind of more fun, but Magic related. We're going to be going down there. I got the Airbnb, Pich, and my plane tickets with Nadra today, and we're going down Wednesday the 20th. So we're going to be there till Sunday. I think you'll be there. Are you going to stay longer this time again, or what are you going to do?
If I stay longer, it's just to fly out on Monday because it's cheaper. That's about it.
Okay.
And also, when I was looking at it, for some reason, if I wanted to fly out on Sunday, it wasn't that much more expensive, but I would have to make 1 or 2 stops instead of it being a direct flight. So I was maybe I'll just wait a day and just do the one direct. So
okay. Well, let me know if you want me to extend the Airbnb. So
don't worry about that. If I do, I'll do a hotel for one night if I gotta.
Okay. Or maybe you can crash on a generous second cousin's couch out there in a guest bedroom, perhaps. So this one, since we're going down and we're hoping to see all you second cousins there, get the ticket link in the description. What are you most looking forward to? Give me a ranking of Orlando activities, starter, backup, bench. Are we going to include the games? Is that included?
I'm not, but
Okay.
they're
All
on
right.
there.
Okay, all right. They're
I mean,
available.
it could be, yeah, right.
Wow,
Could
so
be,
you're
could
telling
be.
me that the games aren't your starter?
Nope.
He's fraudulent. He's fraudulent,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
I think at this point, like, we've been to games, we've seen things. I think if I
But
was
Court
going to enjoy
Cousins
something,
night?
it would be that part of it, but
Okay.
not so much the game itself.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
I like, I'm about like sometimes new experiences or checking out something that's different and new. So for me, I think the starter has got to be Star Wars World. We've been talking about it for a couple of years.
Yes.
We didn't do it last year. I have since heard lots of great things from many people whose opinion I respect. I've been told it's a must, and it's on the list for us this year. So that for me is my starter. At the backup, but not too far behind, is the food. Last year we did a thing with tacos, finding lots of great spots for tacos. I still think about those tacos. I'm not gonna lie. I can taste them right now. I can remember these places. I kind of want to go back to some of those places. I also want to try some new ones.
Okay.
So I'm here for that. Like, because my since I've lived in Texas, my Mexican cuisine
your palate
are higher.
is expanding.
It's higher now.
Okay.
So and I will still fuck with a Jack in the Box taco once in a while though, but I know they're garbage.
You haven't lost your roots. You haven't lost your roots. I'm proud of you.
Right. And I think on the bench I'm gonna put having an itinerary. So right now I have been emailed an itinerary from your lovely wife, and I don't like having an itinerary. I'm hoping that's just sort of a maybe, perhaps. There's a lot of stuff on there. I'm going to be like, I'm on the bench for this one. I'm not going.
What do you mean? Kayaking and clear kayaks isn't on your list, Pich?
Not on my list. It'd be something that, like, if I had to take a clear kayak to get across a body of water, I'd do it. But, like, it's not something I would seek out. Does sound like a good date activity. That seems like something for you guys.
Right.
I mean, I would totally do it if I was on a date, but to go along with you and her on that seems awkward. So I'm just gonna bow out on that one.
Pich, stop hitting my oar with your oar.
All right, what is your Orlando trip starter backup bench?
I don't know how specific I can be on account of I don't have the greatest memory. So let me know things that we're missing. I guess this segment is really just a cry for help. Let us know what we should be hitting when we go down there. Put it in the comments. Places, because the number one thing I'm most interested in or most excited for always when I go places is food. Like, I'm a food tourist. I plan my days around food if I'm able. And so we ate at a couple really good restaurants, as you said last time. So give us some recommendations. I especially like that one place that we went. It was a little bougie, but I definitely want to take Nadra there. It was good drinks and food, and I don't remember what it was, so I'm going to try to find it. But yeah,
I know where it is.
Okay, you do?
Yeah, you could drop me at the stadium, and I could walk us right there. I know where it is.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we ate at some really good places, so I'm definitely excited about the cuisine. I think Star Wars World is going to be my backup. I'm pumped about that, but it's also expensive. It's also freaking expensive. So that's crazy. I mean, I should have prefaced this by saying the games are my number one thing that I'm looking forward to and hanging out with people. So that's before any of this. And then the last thing
well, that's the reason for going. So it's kind of
right.
like, obviously.
Right. And what's going to be the last thing? I don't know. Kayaking and clear kayaks?
Is that on the bench?
Crossing oars? No.
Oh, isn't it going to a beach? I saw that on the itinerary.
No, you know it is the bench, and this is a fun activity, so it's not even really bench. I'm excited to scoot myself around, man.
Oh, good call. Good call. Yeah.
I like, we're kind of in the burbs where I live. I didn't see it, where you were at. We don't have the scooters, but we're staying in downtown Orlando where they have like the little Lime scooters, and it's a nice little downtown area to be able to get around with. So I'm excited to scoop myself over from our Airbnb to good food to not to Star Wars World, because we learned that we tried to scoot too far. We tried to scoot too far last time. We tried to scooter to the convention center last year, and our scooters just started sputtering on us. Like mine just started dying, and we're just out in kind of the middle of nowhere. Orlando definitely goes from, you got your city, your suburbs, and then there's just nothing for a little. There's some space there.
Swamp.
Yeah, there was some space around the arena. Or is that the Orange Bowl over there? The old Orange Bowl, and weren't we liming by that?
What? Were you in Miami? Or Miami's got the Orange Bowl?
Oh, okay. What is it? It's called like the Camper Park.
It's a Citrus Bowl. It's completely different.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, fuck. All right, sorry. It's the Orange County.
It includes limes and lemons.
Yeah,
it does.
Okay, we've probably spent far too much time talking about scooters. All right, let's move on to an actual Orlando Magic theme starter, backup, and bench. This one, similar to team expectations. This one you can interpret two different ways. Player you're most excited or interested to watch in the second half of the year, Pich. I got a bunch of players here, but you can kind of do what are your three top players of sorts?
Well, normally when you do these, you only have three to choose from. So if you put somebody on the bench, that's the person that you're slating. But in this case, the three that we select are the three most that we want to see, basically.
I guess, or maybe you can throw some slight shade if you put some on the bench. It's like, maybe that's.
I wasn't gonna.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna. I know it's gonna shock you, but I wasn't gonna.
Wow.
I wasn't gonna do that.
Okay.
That was not the way I was gonna go. I think for me, it's pretty easy. It's not sexy, but it is true. I'm gonna go with Paulo and Franz as my one. I'm gonna go with Franz first, and then go with Paulo second. I'm interested to see if Franz can become more consistent. Some games it seems like he disappears a little.
Okay.
I'd like to see him be a little bit more consistent around the 20-point mark. Also, next would be Paulo. I'd like to see towards the end of his second year, is he going to still be able to keep producing at the same level? I feel like he will. I'm not worried about it, but that's something I want to watch. And on third, I'm actually going to go with J.I. here because I just want to watch him play more, right? Like, I mean, I've talked about it ad nauseum on this. I just want to see him play more. I'm impressed by his defensive prowess when he plays. He feels like a liability on offense sometimes to me. He seems like he has no touch around the rim, but his defense is so good, and the way he can lock guys down. If he can just stay on the court and play more, he's going to become important for us at playoff time. I just know he's going to end up guarding one of the team's best offensive threats. So I need to make sure that he's going to be able to be there. And I know that does lend itself against what I want, which is to see him play, because they're going to keep resting him to make sure he's good for that. But if I can't see him play a bunch of consecutive games with a bunch of consecutive minutes, why should I believe that he'll be able to do it once the playoffs start? So that's the other thing that I really kind of want to see happen as we go forward. So that's my three. It's not sexy, but that's how I feel.
No, all right. I got Paulo 1. He's going to be my starter. I think some of the reasons that I talked about earlier in the show, his free throw attempts are trending down a little bit. I'm interested to see how he reacts to that. I don't think he's going to be the type of guy that is going to start getting frustrated with referees. I think he'll stay the course, and then those calls will come around again as people realize, yeah, I mean, this guy's a tank, but he's getting hacked on the way to the rim. So I'm interested to also see if he can continue to shoot as well as he's been shooting from beyond the arc. I mean, he's crushing it this year from three, and I'm interested to see how he ends the year from beyond the arc. I'm trying to bring up his stats right now. That's why I'm kind of stuttering about it here. Let's see. What is he on the year? Why do you not tell me on the year? So I guess next would be my backup. He's shooting, 36.7% from beyond the arc. That's about a 4% increase from last year. So can he still continue that prowess from beyond the arc? And just seeing how his game develops. I could have Franz here, but I'm as my backup, but I'm going to go with Cole. I'm going to leave Franz off my list, actually. I'm going to go with Cole. He's someone who I wrote in OrlandoMagicDaily.com was going through it, man. And he was the first to tell you that he was playing like shit. And that's one of the reasons I love Cole Anthony. He had a post, and I should have pulled it from X. I saw an interview where he said he was playing like doo-doo. And I love that he understands it. He's not shy about it. He faces it head on. He was, the last guy in the gym getting up shots, so he's hardworking, working through it. And I'm rooting for him. So that's why he's my backup. He is the guy that I'm second most excited to watch this year. And then on my bench, am going to, similar to you, Pish, or you had kind of like an injury question mark on your bench, I'm going to go with Markelle Fultz. He is one of my favorite players to watch. I really think he's the basketball in this man's hands is poetry. I love the way that he's able to play. And I'm again rooting for him. I want to see him get healthy by the end of the year and hopefully going into the playoffs. And I'm most interested because he's in a contract year. What happens with Markelle Fultz here at the end of the year? Time will tell. So those are kind of the storylines, maybe more so than the players I'm interested in. Starter, Paulo, can he stay consistent? How does his game adjust if he's not getting all these calls? Then Cole coming out of the slump, owning it head on, rooting for him. He's had some good games now. And then Markelle Fultz. All right, so those are ours. Let us know what players and player storylines you're most excited to follow in the second half of the year. It's not half, the last 32 games of the year. And again, shout out and thank you to all of our patrons over on our Patreon. It really helps to make this show continue. We appreciate everything that you do to help this reach as many people as possible. And thank you for watching. Thank you for, liking, subscribing, and coming along with it. With the show. We'd love to have you down in Orlando on Thursday, March 21st. The first 5 people to order tickets online are going to get entered into a Franz or Paulo jersey giveaway. So you got a 1 in 5 shot. There's already 2 people that have bought tickets. So if you're one of the next 3 people, you're in there. All right. It's going to be a good time, Pish. I can't wait to get down there with you and the second cousins.
Indeed.
All right. You ready to put a bow on this puppy?
Bow it up.
Well, hit the music, sir.
Oh, stuff. You get it.
And here we go. Pish, you're up first.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Dallas trip down here. Obviously, we had some food. We went to a Stars game. We played a lot of video games. We got some jams back in. We really threw it back. Went to card shops. We kind of threw it right back there. What was your favorite part overall of the Dallas trip, though?
I think you already know it's coming. Because I said in my Orlando, what I'm most looking forward to, I said I'm a food tourist. So right the first day we got there, Pish, we went to that spot. What was it called? Maybe
Hutchins.
Oh yeah, you know what? It was in the maybe it was the cold open. That place was so good. If you're in the Dallas, Texas area, that was the best barbecue I've ever had in my whole life. It was fantastic. There were definitely a lot of highlights. We got some awesome cards. Keep an eye out. We're gonna have to do a Magic the Card gathering soon, Pish. Maybe even before the end of the season to show off some of these new cards. But yeah, it was a great time. The Dallas Stars game was a blast. Went into overtime, even though they lost, but that was freaking awesome. That arcade, great time. Like, just good times, man. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Yeah, I think that Hutchins, that might have been the best food I've ever eaten.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's that good.
Fantastic. And something that people have been asking you about, and I know nothing about, but I've heard kind of your take a couple times, but I want you to give it for the people in the second cousins, because I know there's some pro wrestling fans that listen as well. I know nothing of this, like Roman Reigns. I know The Rock has come back, and that's cool. I don't understand the interdynamics. I mean, if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
First of all, when The Rock comes back, he finally comes back. And yeah, he's cousin of they're in the same bloodline.
Okay, so they're
Rock
like
and Roman Reigns. They're like, yeah, they're in this bloodline together, and that's been the whole story. Is Roman Reigns leads a group called the Bloodline with his cousins. And so that's their whole thing. And so now The Rock is back, and the original storyline was that he was going to challenge Roman for the head of the table spot, which is kind of what he says he's in.
Yeah.
And then the fans were like, "Oh, wait a minute, we like this Cody Rhodes guy. We want him to finish the story and all this stuff." So then they kind of 180'd, and they were like, "Oh, we got a button hook because people aren't eating this up. People were getting pissed at Rock. They were like booing him for taking the regular guy.
Rock doesn't want to be booed at this point.
And The Rock doesn't want to be booed, but he does. So The Rock right now is actually playing a heel. He's actually joined the bloodline, but I believe it's all a ruse where he's going to cost Roman the title, which will then lead to a battle between them while Cody takes the title. Fans are happy, yip, yip, yip. Because, wrestling fans are petty and they want what they want. And a lot of times after they get it, they're like, "Oh, that's what we got." And then they don't like it as much. But they always want that moment. So,
are you talking about Jet
paying
Howard?
The bills, give it to them. Yeah, it's a little like that. I mean, honestly, for all the podcasting that we've done, I should have a wrestling podcast because I know about that stuff way more than anything else that I know about.
Well, there's some crossover here. They have cousins. The Rock. Maybe we could do Rock one with Rock and Roman Reigns because they're cousins. We're cousins.
Right.
We could do a Cousins Squared podcast.
Acknowledge us by coming to Core Cousins Night.
All right, what's this next one, Pish?
Next up, we've had a couple of scuffles recently in the NBA. We had one between the Pelicans and the Heat last night. Hornets and Warriors the other day. Is basketball becoming hockey? What's going on with all these fights?
Yeah, I don't get it. I only saw the Hornets Warriors one. I haven't looked at the Pelicans Heat one. Man, Draymond Green's take after where he's like, anything Miles Bridges does is good with me. It's like, bro, are you aware of some of his other work? Like,
yeah.
I understand having someone's back, but also you don't need to flout domestic abuse charges.
Hey, same could be said if anyone doesn't like the storyline in WWE and they suggest we bring Vince McMahon back, right?
So, Pish, last night I went to the live recording of a fetish podcast with my lady Nadra. It was called like the Fetishists, like the tabooist. Like everyone needs a tabooist. Like everyone needs a therapist. Everyone needs a tabooist. I think that's the name of the podcast. And the topic last night was cuckolding. So if you're aware, you're aware. If you're not, don't look it up. Or do if you're over the age of 18 and in a private location. But speaking of going to a fetish podcast, what is yours, Pish? Share it to the whole crowd right now.
I've never even heard of a fetish podcast. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, she might have a niche.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I listen to the Stiff Socks podcast. Does that count? I mean, they talk about porn on there all the time and have porn stars on. I mean, that's got to count for something, right?
What gets Pish going?
I like to laugh, so any podcast that's funny, I'm in. Like,
I'm talking about a fetish. You laughing at you trying to laugh in the bed? Or you trying to have a girl make jokes while she's?
It would be nice if I could crack a few jokes while doing that. But I know usually that's frowned upon, which sucks because I have to be serious for way too long. That's my least favorite part about sex, to be honest.
You have to act
serious. I happen to be serious for that long.
No, you can have playful sex. You just maybe haven't found the right lady. Where are the funny ladies? Come out to Court Cousins Night.
Oh, they always say they're like a guy that can make them laugh, but not then.
Well, hopefully they're laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah. So, hey, wedding plans. You said you were doing some wedding planning beforehand. I'm kind of just checking in. How are these wedding plans going?
Yeah.
Are we doing a traditional kind of walk down wedding thing? Am I walking with a beer? If not, why? I'm mad. Go on.
I'm not going to do like the traditional wedding party thing. I'm not into the idea of like trying to like rank friends and have like my top 5 friends in my Facebook page, or
no starter backup bench for the groomsmen.
I'm not into doing starter backup and bench for that. So it's probably just, we've got a string quartet to do the music for the ceremony. It's going to be nice and classy. That's all booked. We got the place booked. The reception's going to be in like a cool art gallery, lounge, cocktail bar thing in downtown Bridgeport. So we got that going on. We know our officiant. We're checking things off. We're sending out. You'll get your invitation soon. So things are going along. It is stressful though. I'd be lying if I say we haven't gotten in a couple fights over it. I don't know why it's stressful, but it's just like Nadra wants to do something at a time where she wants to talk about the wedding when a time I'm not ready. But what we did is we put it on the calendar. So now we have every Saturday morning, which I think will help. So I can expect it because I'm an agenda person, and she knows that she's going to have that time with me. So compromise, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about finding your middle ground.
I think planning the wedding is that final test, right? It's like the eliminator at the end of American Gladiators. It's like, all right, if you get past this, then it'll be good. But if there's problems with that part of it, then,
no good.
Get out now.
All right. Let's finish light. This was from Wagner Broderstan. Might be a hot take, but good French fries don't need ketchup, barbecue sauce, or hot sauce. This was in reply to a post about French fries saying if ketchup doesn't exist, what topping are you putting on your fries? I mean, it has to be a very good fry for me to not need a topping. I definitely would like a topping on there. So Pish, if you don't have ketchup, what are you doing with your fries?
I don't use ketchup on my fries that much now. You're bringing this to the wrong man.
You're right.
If a fry is good, he is correct. It does not need anything. A little salt, maybe a little pepper if you want to get crazy. Okay. But honestly, if a fry is good, it needs nothing. I don't usually dip my fries and stuff. I'll eat that. Like if I have a burger, I kind of eat them with the burger.
Okay, so you're getting
I'm not a ketchup on the side, dip it in guy. I rarely do that.
Okay. So I'm all for the sugar. I love some ketchup. So if not, give me some barbecue sauce. Give me some Chipotle mayo. If you got that around. Woo! Yeah.
I've dipped a fry in ranch before and not hated it, but I know that makes me an ugly American. I am aware.
Well, let us know where the good fry spots are down in Orlando. Where should we be eating? Well, let me know. I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to join you down. I guess we'll have one more episode before we get down there. We'll do a bunch of giveaways on that one. Pish, this has been we've had quite the hang. We've been recording this for about 3 or 4 hours now, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thanks for coming with me.
I've enjoyed it as well, but now I have to go to work. All my time before work has been used.
I'm sorry. I love you. Peace out, second cousins.
Love you too, brother. Thanks for coming.